Hello everyone, and welcome back here on the ChainLog YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin again and what happened since last week. Obviously, we came back, so last week we didn't have a video, but we came back from the summer holidays today to show you how the things works today. Obviously, what happened. It happened what we've talked about for a month now. Bitcoin touched 25k as the last spot onto the stop losses and so on. So we're gonna talk about that in a moment. First things first, I ask you to share, like, subscribe this video, to click the notification bell to stay up to date to what there are the videos we share every week on this YouTube channel. Thank you to sustain my work, and let's get into what it is today. So today we are seeing that Bitcoin is on. It broke down this line here that we've talked about, that sustained the price until now, and as you see, as you'll see also on the video here on YouTube, we touched 25k that we've talked about. There is a lot of sustain of the price right there. I don't think we'll get down from here a lot much in the last few days, because there isn't any possibility, since we have broken down the 200 SMA on the daily, on the weekly, and we touched the 200 weekly as EMA on the weekly. So there is the Bollinger Bands right below, and right below at 25k, 25.2, there is obviously the 50 EMA on the monthly. So I don't think we'll get down from there in a matter of days. If we have to go there, we'll see in just a moment, because we are doing live our own chain analysis. So let's get into what it is today, because on a daily time frame we saw that our volatility at the end broke down and broke down on the 200s on the daily as well. We broke down the trend line that sustained the price until here, and at the end everything has gone as we understood it. It was, in fact, we are still on the 200s, on the 200 EMA at least, and we don't want to lose that, because that will get long, will make the recovery of the price last longer and very longer. In fact, we are along in that for 4 weeks now, and we see that from the sell bubbles that there is some selling happening here on the last few days, but that is there is even people like 250 Bitcoin or more or less, that bought at 0.20 cents of dollar, and in 2010 bought there, but the majority just came from December 2021 and down below the road. This isn't really a problem, because actually, if we see how much of the realized profit there was in the last 7 days, it was very low, and still consistent and very low. The fact that it is very low and there isn't really much of a loss, apart from a little, like 100 million, nothing major anyway on chain. There is this realized profit, slow but flow, and there is no response from the demand side. We just see that in this case there isn't just the demand. There is a low selling, as always, low selling and taking profits, but we don't see the coming back from the demand side of the equation. And in fact, we needed this 25k to find more support, more demand for Bitcoin, because at these price levels, at this point in time, there isn't really that much demand. Also because there are vacations, there are the holidays, and so people are actually spending their money onto something more probably more funny than Bitcoin. And 25k in fact was also the Ambex 10k or more Bitcoin holders realized price or cost basis on chain, and it was the 200 weekly EMA. It was the also, if we watch and we take in consideration the 1 year or less holders, it was that cost basis as well, 25.2. And we broke down the 6-month realized price, the cost basis of the 6-month holders or the short-term holders, the speculators, and so on. And that's obviously not really that much of a good thing, because if we don't recover fast, and we didn't, in fact, until now, and I don't think we'll do, we'll get to 27.8k more or less before getting down again and starting watching the price slowly getting to 20k again as time goes on. That's because getting down the 6-month holder realized price is taking this in comparison with in confluence with this breakthrough of the trend line we had for the price to sustain. And in the case we break through the 200 weekly EMA in the next few weeks, we take that in confluence with the fact that the behavior, the behavioral patterns that came out watching the adjusted SOPR, for example, so the profitability on shit that we have on chain, so the behavioral patterns on that, we see that we have values that goes below 1 in the last few days since we touched 30k again, and we started getting below 1 and using the 1 at resistance before getting down. And this is a bearish pattern, is a bearish momentum. And in fact, if we see, we got that pattern since the start of a breakdown, since the bear market, and we got it until the very first start when we got from 16k to 20k. Then the pattern changed it and getting above the 1, so above the cost basis on chain for the sellers of the day, and getting into an area of profitability before touching their cost basis, and then getting back up to get the sellers getting profits. And now we're seeing that this kind of momentum is just changing and getting below. So I see this change in the behavioral patterns. I don't see where the price can go from here, if not to 20k. If we start breaking down the 200 weekly EMA, we have still the 25 BPS at 0%, let's say 11.5% probability for the 20th of September, but it's still too let's say that it is not a thing of this moment. It's just priced in that we are not having any new hike, and so the price is just falling down as a consequence of a no demand zone and a change in the behavioral pattern that will lead us into a bearish momentum for the short term, at least in my opinion. And in fact, what will come out from here is probably that we touch this 27k, that is the 200 on the daily, 200 SMA and DMA that are crossing right now, and probably getting, as I already said, there 27k. That's because obviously there is as well the 6-month holders realized price there as well. So 27.8 is the 6-month holder cost basis that will make us resistance with the 27.3k. So all this zone 27 to 28 will be a used resistance when we come back up, because there is a 200 on the daily, And on that zone as well, now there is a lot of things like the 200 on SMA on the weekly, the 50 RSI on the weekly, a lot of other things that we are not going to take in consideration right now because I will make this too much long. And 27k as well is the 12 EMA on the monthly, so the yearly average. So get to pay attention on that. Another huge resistance will be probably on 26.2k because there is the 50 SMA quadriennial thing there. And nothing. This is what I see on chain. And from the volumetric candle, I see the same thing. The huge resistance starts 26.5k, coming to 27.5k, so 27.5 candle on the volumetric candle of the 8 pence realized price distribution is more or less 27.5 to 28k. So these volumetric candles are $500 per one. So once, and so you see yourself. Maybe you'll get into my video on YouTube to see that as well. That we have that resistance, another resistance, obviously. We'll get into 28.5k and 30k. I don't think we'll get there anyway soon. If we don't do this in 6 days, so if we don't recover the 28k and into the 29, maybe it will be better we hit 29, but the best is we recover 28.5. That is the middle Bollinger Bands on the weekly, and obviously maybe we if we don't get there in this week, maybe we'll have a little bit of an uptrend to a little bit of a downtrend. So we'll start getting lower highs and lower lows on the weekly chart as well. That isn't really a good thing. So for now, we still are in an higher low on the weekly. So with the possibility that we recover in the next few weeks are still an average of 50 to 60%. So, but the behavior pattern on chain changed, so I think we'll get down slowly. That is my approach. We'll see maybe next week how the things will react. Now we have to just take care of ourselves, and maybe this is a good time to short-term buying. That's not obviously a financial advice, but I will do if my strategy would have been that to trade. I'm not a trader. I'm just a long-term investor. So thank you very much to stay with me today, and we'll see you next time. Cheers everyone. Subscribe, share, and like. Yo!